everybody. I hope you guys are doing great. I got like 14-15 more minutes left to kill on my lunch, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm outside of my job as we speak, and again, I'm not gonna say where I work, just out of the sake of professionalism. But I was thinking about some stuff. I had posted a video yesterday talking about it being the day before Christmas Eve and how no one really wants to go into work, or most people don't want to go into work. But y'all, it's interesting because I am parked outside of my job, and I heard two people call in. Well, in the past month or so, I've seen 3 people come in or call and ask to apply for jobs, if not more. One of the workers that I'm working with right now, he's super cool. I ain't gonna say his name though, but he came in. He was applying for one of our services, and he just asked straight up. He was like, "Hey, are y'all hiring?" This was about a couple weeks ago. I don't know, not that long ago, because he's still new. Excuse me. And somebody had just quit like a month prior, just walked off the job because something went down. So we were down somebody, and we needed more help. This dude walked in, was like, "Y'all hiring?" My manager was just like, "Absolutely." And he was like, "Hey, that's cool." He's also bilingual, so that worked out very, very well, because as y'all know, Spanish is basically like the second dominatory language that is being spoken in America. So if you got kids, and even yourself, however old you are, if you can start learning a new language, learn it now. And I would advise you to learn Spanish, because it's such a popular language. It ain't gonna do nothing but help you in life, but also on your job searches as well. You put down, "I'm bilingual," that's automatic. Okay, so what other language does she speak? Okay, bring her up in here. It just looks good. And so about 4 or 5 people have asked for jobs within the last 2 months of me being here. And I'm just thinking, because this time last year I was unemployed, and boy, it was a struggle. Any of y'all know, at least if you have some type of work ethic, if you have some type of responsibility, things that you have to pay for, or certain people who are depending on you, especially if you got kids, it don't matter if you walk off a job because you quit, or if you get fired, or if they lay you off or whatever, they just want to cut back on the company, your next immediate hustle is to find something else. Y'all know that feeling when your heart is palpitating and your gut is tight. And a lot of times, I don't know about y'all, but I couldn't sleep. Looking for a new job is a job. So I spent every waking moment I could trying to find something. And of course, I tried to find something that paid what I was paying, if not more, in my prior job. But I get it. At a certain point, when stuff needs to get paid, as hard as it may be, sometimes you have to take that job that pays a little bit less than you thought. Now, if you can thug it out until you find a job that pays you what you need, absolutely do that. But I'm kind of rambling, but I'm kind of not. This is like going to the point of my story, is appreciate your job. As much as we may hate waking up and going to work some days, and as much as we don't want to be here on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve and all the holidays that you be seeing other places get off, like the post office and a lot of the government jobs, not all of them, but a lot of the government jobs that be, and even certain banks that be taking like Columbus Day off and President's Day off, we don't get none of them days off here. So that I don't understand. But as much as you may be tired of going through the monotony of the day-to-day, I want to encourage you still, in the depths of your heart and in the depths of your gut, appreciate your job. Appreciate what you got, because you may not be making as much money you want to make right now, but I can guarantee you that there is somebody, if not a lot of bodies out there, who wish they worked where you worked. And keep in mind, appreciate your job because of the reality that they could let you go whenever. Because I don't know about other states, but I know that California is an at-will state. So you legitimately could not really be doing anything against SOP. You could be doing everything that you need to be doing to do a good job, but for whatever reason, because the manager don't like you, because you just ticked off the wrong person or the right person who snitched on you and brought that up to corporate or whatever, your job can let you go without any notice, without even telling you why. And most of the time, if you asked why, a lot of times they'll give you some whack reason, like, oh, we just didn't feel like you were a good fit anymore, or, oh, we don't think you were abiding properly by all the guidelines, knowing dang well that that's not the case. How do I know? I can talk about this because I've been wrongfully terminated. I have. I could have fought it, but I didn't. And interestingly enough, the company that I'm thinking about ended up getting a lawsuit put against them anyway, multiple times. And just the bottom line of what happened there is that they knew that I caught them doing shady stuff, like not recording certain times, not giving me certain time off that I had worked for and that I properly put requests in, things like that. And at the time, I had a really good friend of mine that put me on some game in terms of just like what to look out for. And so even with the job I'm at now, I appreciate the fact that I can come here every day, even though I may not want to come here every day. The bottom line is, until I get to where I want to be, I need this money. And if you still working a job, apparently you still need that money. And I know especially people who have dreams and have vision of how they want their life to look, and they know that they're not supposed to be stuck at a 9-to-5 for the rest of their life. That's hard. It's hard because you feel trapped, and it can really be soul-sucking and draining, and it can be discouraging too, because you're surrounded by most of the time when you work a 9-to-5 and you're a dreamer, you're surrounded by people who aren't. Most of the time, when you really start listening to how people speak and start observing the way they think, you realize you're on a totally different wave. And it's not a judgment, it's not a knock, but it's just like, hey, I see that you really don't want more for your life. Like, you're cool with just working a 9-to-5 until you're 75 and then die. And some people, there's nothing wrong with that. I want to keep emphasizing that, because I've said this multiple times. If all a person wants to do is just have a family and work a stable career job and just have the house and the white picket fence and the dog and the 2.5 kids and just let that be their legacy, praise God for that. That's beautiful. But when you're not a person who just wants that because you know that there's something more, it can be really hard to relate to people. And a lot of times that's the scenario with other people that you work with, your coworkers. And it can be frustrating even, because even when you try to articulate where you are mentally and certain goals that you have, they don't understand. They don't understand, or it just goes whoosh, and they're just like, oh, okay, that's good. So back to this TikTok video, and it's just like, if TikTok ain't making me money, I really don't care. I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. Instagram is like the only form of traditional social media, even though YouTube is a form of social media, but it's way more than that though, in my opinion. But I'm talking about, you know, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Instagram is the only one that I like to go on a decent basis. I am glad to say that I don't go on it and spend hours on there all the time. I have gotten lost in that trap before, so I ain't gonna lie about that. But for the most part, like, I don't have it installed on my phone, but I go on there because it feels good to see other people like yourself. It's good to go on there for inspiration. So if you're not getting that at work, I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but I am gonna encourage y'all, if you for sure are not getting that at work, find your tribe of people who think the same way you do, and appreciate that as well. I want to encourage y'all to not only stay on the internet, find real life people who you can do life with that are going in the same direction and who want the same things that you want. And most of the time, those people will be people just like you, just like me, who are still working this 9-to-5 grind, but are building something outside of that, and are at least aiming towards something outside of that, and who think differently, way outside of the box of the traditional mindset of just, okay, pay bills and die. So it's stuff like that. That when I hear people calling in for jobs, and we had one time this dude came in. If I was the manager of the store, I probably would have hired this dude. We had this one dude come in, and he was young, had his resume. He was dressed decently, you know, but you could tell he was like going around everywhere, hustling, trying to find work, being, hey, are you guys hiring? Can I apply? Do you guys have any more? And that, I respect that. I respect that to the core of my being, because that's hustle. I'm not afraid to go out here and look. I'm not afraid to come up here and show up and see face to face, so y'all can tell me, not just talk over the phone and be like, oh, I'm sorry, we're not hiring, and then just be like, okay. Because I can guarantee you there's somebody out here who comes across this video who's gonna you're in need of a job right now. And you may be a hustler, you may be an entrepreneur, but right now it's tough and you gotta swallow your pride and go get that job. I want to encourage you to do that, as much as it may suck, because at the end of the day, you got to take care of your business, you got to take care of yourself, you got to take care of your family. So get something that can help be a stepping stone to help you build what you're trying to build. And I can tell you right now though, you when you get that job, you're gonna be, it's people out there, let me just say this, there's people out there who don't have a job right now, who are job hunting, that would be extremely happy just to say, I got a call back and I got an interview. So if you already have one, if you already have a job, especially if you've been at your job for a long time and they still got you and they haven't laid you off, or they haven't fired you, or you haven't felt that strong of a need to just quit because it's gotten that bad, appreciate it, because apparently it's not that bad. It's not that bad to the point where you ain't there no more. And just remember that there's always somebody who needs the job that you have. You need it too. I think we just need to appreciate it. And so as I talk to y'all, I'm talking to myself, because I get it. I really get it. Especially when you work at a job and you don't feel appreciated as a worker. When you really are doing your best, but your job overlooks it, or they still, like, you know, slap you in the face and say, hey, well, you're still doing this wrong, you're not doing this right, and and all the politics that I understand. But at the end of the day, you're working your job for you. And one thing that does help, even though it could be frustrating to think about, but it does help, is if you are a believer, God does say, do your job working for him. So God is really your boss. So if you're a believer, one thing that really helped me is when I said, okay, I need to do a good job because the Lord is the one I'm really working for. And I can go into all of that, but it ain't gonna be now. It's gonna be another video. But yeah, I wanted to post this because that really made me think. Seeing those people, I had 2 people call today talking about, hey, the day before Christmas, they need money. Talking about, hey, I put an application in, I'm just trying to follow up. Hi, are you guys hiring? Man, as hard as it may be, and as sucky as it may feel, appreciate your job, because somebody else ain't got one and needs it. All right, I love y'all, and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.